Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot CQDX 10.
Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. This is Papa Yankee 2 Papa India Mike.
Yeah, Papa Yankee 2, Papa India Mike. Very good afternoon to you, sir. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. And I'm in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres southeast of the city of London. I'll give you a report on the next over and I'll give you some technical details. Papa Yankee 2, Papa India Mike. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot listening.
Roger, Roger. Good afternoon, Mark. Thank you for coming back to my call. You are a beautiful 5 and 9. Southeast area of Brazil. And my short name is P, Papa India Mike. Last name is Pimentel, but I prefer to use just P on the radio. I think it is easier to pronounce and it is remembers my call sign. Papa Yankee 2, Papa India Mike. You are a beautiful 5 and 9. QSL, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Pim. Thank you for the superb and fantastic 5 and 9. You are genuine, just 5 and 3 to me today, Pim. Just 5 and 3, but perfectly readable. My radio is at IC-7300. I'm using just 100 watts, but my antenna is very simple, 5/8 wave vertical. So a very simple vertical antenna. That's the story, Pim. Back to you, PY2, PIM. This is M0 JCF.
Roger, Roger, Mark. Thank you for the description of your system. It is working very, very well. Here I'm using a CQDX 2000. It's a hard dipole. QSL, a hard dipole, single hard dipole. And my power in this moment is 100 watts. 100 watts. Okay, Mark. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, Pim, an absolute pleasure to speak to you today. QSB dropping your signal slightly, but no problem. But your TS2000 dipole and 100 watts, making the journey, absolutely no problems. I've logged you in QRZ if you use that, and I wish you and your family 73 good luck and hope to hear you again soon. Thank you again for this contact. Goodbye, old friend. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. The QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot in the southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ Juliet Charlie Foxtrot CQDX 10.
Zulu 05 Alpha Yankee Charlie.
Yeah, Zulu Sierra 5 Alpha Yankee Charlie. Very good afternoon to you down there in South Africa. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres or 15 miles southeast of London. I'll give you a report on the next over, but over to you and let's find out who you are. Zulu Sierra 5 Alpha Yankee Charlie. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Sierra Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Zulu Sierra 5 Alpha Yankee Charlie. Good afternoon there, Mike. The name here is Sierra India Delta. The name Sierra India Delta, located about 180 kilometers southeast of Durban.
Yeah, QSL Sid, got you there, southeast of Durban. And a signal report for you. Just 5 and 2, Sid. 5 and 2, but you're very easily readable here in the southeast of England. And that's important for me, is the readability, not the signal. The fact that you're making the journey is great for me. I'm only using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, but the radio is an IC-7300. And the power output 100 watts straight from the radio. That's the story, Sid. Back to you, ZS5 AYC M0 JCF.
M0 JCF, Zulu 05 Alpha Yankee Charlie. Well, thanks a lot there, Mark. And yeah, you come 589, a good 589 here in South Africa. And yeah, I'm running a Linko TX70 into a 8-element lofty antenna, running 100 watts.
Yeah, ZS5AYCM0JCF. Thanks for the 5 and 8, the 5 and 9. I seem to be getting out to South Africa today better than I'm receiving. You're peaking about 5 and 3 to me today, Sid. 5 and 3 with QSB. You're not registering on the meter, but still perfectly readable. Still radio 5. As I say, that's important. That Alinco DX70, fantastic little radio, is working very well, but I think the 8-element log periodic antennas probably doing all of the heavy lifting work for the pair of us. I'll give you some whiskey x-ray today. Beautiful clear morning, around about 12 degrees, and then this afternoon it's come over cloudy with a very small light rain shower, a little bit of wind, just like yesterday, but about 15 to 17 degrees out there at the moment, Celsius, so not a bad autumn day. Back to you, Sid.
Right, Mike here, Julius Charlie Fox, that is 5AYC. Thanks a lot for that information there, Mark. And yeah, South Africa at the moment, where we are, it's raining. We have a slight bit of rain, which is very, very this is around about 21 degrees inside, and not too bad at all. So yeah, we're looking forward to a nice summer this year, and hopefully especially on the weather side there. But lovely people coming in from your side there, Mark. Mike 0, Julius Charlie Fox, that is 5AYC.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, of course, we're coming towards winter, and you're now approaching your summer. We've had a fantastic summer here, Sid. I would say that the weather was probably on par with great parts of South Africa. We've had many days, many weeks, in fact, here in the southeast of England where the temperature was over 30 degrees, about 32, 33 degrees some days, and, you know, very unusual, but maybe that's becoming more normal now. I don't mind the hot weather. I don't mind the dry weather. It saves me spending lots of money going to hot countries for holidays, Sid. Back to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is part of the problem, and I guess the UK is a different kettle of fish to us in the winter months. Yeah, ours is pretty mild where we are. We usually go down to around about maybe 8, maybe 9 degrees Celsius. But other than that, it's always a pretty nice winter where we're located. We're more in the sort of subtropical area down here in the south, so we're not complaining about the summer months or the winter months, actually. Very, very similar to, I would think, maybe Australia. Temperatures in Australia are pretty much the same as what we are. So, yeah, it's really nice and really nice. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to call on this over. I'm busy with the barbecue on the outside, so I need to go and see what's happening there with our dinner for tonight. This Mike 0, Julius Charlie Fox, ZS5AYC.
Yeah, ZS5AYCM0JCF, absolutely fantastic. A barbecue, yeah, that sounds just about right. And why not? Fantastic. I see from the map as well, you're quite near the coast. It must be quite idyllic and you know, and a nice place to be, near the coast. A barbecue, and the summer's coming, but you've got warm weather anyway. I mean, what more could you ask for? Go and enjoy that barbecue, Sid. Go and enjoy your time with the family and friends as well. And yeah, I'm a big man. I do like to eat, but I'll be having dinner later on, I suppose. Just waiting to see what my wife wants, and then one of us will cook. I do like to cook. I like to eat too much, maybe, but I do like to cook, so we'll see what happens. But great speaking to you. I think the first time I've logged you, and I look forward to many more contacts with you in the near future. If not on this band, find me on 12 or 15 meters, Sid. We'll do it all over again. Good luck, old friend, and thank you. It's been a great pleasure. ZS5 AYC M0JCF 73, old man.
Take care, from Dennis Already watching 73.
73, good luck, much appreciated, Sid. QRZ, this is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England listening. Okay, nothing is heard. CQDX, CQ, Charlie, Foxtrot, CQDX 10.
Whiskey Delta 8 Kilo Lima Lima.
Yeah, Whiskey Delta 8 Kilo Lima Lima. Very good afternoon to you, old man. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm just 15 miles southeast of the city of London. So I'll give you a report on the next over, but let's find out who you are, where you are, please. Whiskey Delta 8 Kilo Lima Lima, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox.
Roger, roger there, Mike. You got Greg here. The name is Greg. I've got a lot of QSB on my end, but I got you about a 5.7 here in Michigan. Over.
Thanks for the 5-7 into Michigan, Greg, and lovely to hear you today. You're just 5 and 2 to me, and with QSB you're dropping down to about a 4 and 1, but I'd pretty much say you know, no problem hearing everything you said. Well, today, Greg, I'm using an IC-7300, just 100 or so watts from the back of the radio, and then the antenna's very simple, just a 5/8 wave vertical antenna. So of course a lot of my power is going everywhere but in your direction, but it seems to be making the trip across the Atlantic and then across the northern United States to your position. So Whiskey Delta 8 Kilo Lima Lima, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox.
Yeah, roger, roger there, Mark. Pleasure to meet you here. Yeah, there's a lot of QSB on my end now. But yeah, I'm just...
Okay, WD8KLL M0 JCF. Greg, not sure if it was the QSB or you stopped transmitting, but you started to give me your details, and then that was it. Wham! You dropped through the floor, and there was absolutely nothing coming back. I wasn't sure if you'd unkeyed or so, but if you can still hear me, Greg, the QSB probably not in our favour today. I do appreciate this contact, but I'll make it brief and say I wish you and the family very best 73. Find me again on 10 and 12 metres. We'll do it again. We'll put the world right, and we'll find out some more about each other. But until then, 73 old chap, thank you again and good luck. Okay, nothing is heard, nothing is heard. Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, CQDX on 10.
Kilo Quebec 4, Zulu, Foxtrot, Quebec.
Yeah, Kilo Queen 4, Zulu Foxtrot, Quebec. Very good afternoon to you, old man. Thank you for calling me. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England, about 15 miles southeast of London. And I'll give you a report on the next over, and let's find out who you are, where you are, and what you're up to today. KQ4ZF I think my handwriting says. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox.
Roger, roger. This is Walt, Lima Alpha Lima Tango. This is in Virginia, VA, USA. Just sitting on the beach here, looking for wonderful people to talk to like you.
Yeah, KQ4ZFQ, Walt in Virginia on the beach. Yeah, you know how to make a man jealous, Walt. I'm sitting in my loft and also talking to some fantastic people on 10 metres. Well, Walt, you're 5 and 5 to me at this moment. 5 and 5, but with QSB dropping you downwards rather than up, which is a shame. But today, Walt, I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical. I'm using 100 100 watts, and the radio is the very ubiquitous and common IC-7300 by ICOM. So just wondering how you're operating from the beach there, Walt. Back to you, KQ4 ZFQ M0 JCF.
Roger, Roger. Sitting here actually mobile on a ICOM 2730, 80 watts. I got a dipole out behind the truck, and I got you 5757. Good strong signal.
Yeah, okay. Well, as I say, you're 5 and 5 to me, but the first 5, the readability, very, very loud. You're a very clear, very crisp transmission. You've got a great audio, especially good for DX. You know, I talk to many stations, Walt, where they've got so much signal processing going on to try and sound like broadcast station DJs, and it just doesn't work across the DX. Everything becomes mud by the time it reaches my old man's ears. But yeah, compliments to the operating out there mobile. So tell me, which beach are you on? Now, I'm not very familiar with the Virginia beaches. I'm more of a Florida man. I could probably tell you all of the beaches in Florida, but when it comes to Virginia and Georgia, I'm not so hot on those beaches. Maybe Myrtle Beach I know in Georgia. So whereabouts are you there, Walt? Back to you.
Roger. This is a small brackish creek beach off of what's called the Ware River. Off of York River, I guess just north of Virginia Beach.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm hopefully as well you're there at the beach. You haven't got too much bad weather coming off the Atlantic. Here we had a lovely morning, very crisp blue skies, about 10 degrees. This afternoon it reached about 17 degrees Celsius, which is sort of the 60s Fahrenheit. And but we had a light rain shower earlier, and it's a little bit overcast at the moment, a bit gloomy, a bit grey. So what's it like down there at the beach? Back to you.
Hey Roger, right now I'm not exactly sure of the temperature, but the sun is definitely on my back, and it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Mostly clear skies. Back to you.
Well, absolutely fantastic. You know, as I say, you know how to make a man green with envy. But, you know, we've just come out of summer now. And, of course, you're a lot further south than me. So I'd imagine that, like Florida, you know, you probably have a longer summer and a shorter fall or autumn and maybe a short winter. So tell me, just down there where you are, what are the winters like there in your part of Virginia, Walt? Are they wet? Are they cold? Do you get snow? You know, what's it like in your region? Back to you.
Hey, Roger. Well, Virginia's known for weather that changes as quickly as people change their shorts. Our winters are fairly cold. We normally don't get a whole bunch of snow, but some years we'll get 40 snow, and other years we won't see any. But all in all, it's a good mid-range weather area for the United States.
Well, that's brilliant and great information there. I do keep a paper logbook, Walt, and I write down all of these little notes. I'll probably never refer to them again, but you know, I'm interested. I've been to the United States, coast to coast, in fact, about 15 times in my life since 1987, and mainly for family holidays, and when I was younger, holidays with friends, and we did a bit of travelling, a bit of touring, but yeah, never been in that stretch of coast between sort of Georgia up towards New York and, you know, the states in the northeast. So we keep threatening, my wife and I keep threatening to do a coast to coast drive in the very near future. Likewise, we want to do Canada as well. We want to go Vancouver straight across to Newfoundland, but it's all sort of in the planning stages at the moment. But you never know, we may cross paths at some point. Walt, back to you.
Hey, Roger that, Mark. I'd love to see that. Yep, if you get around the Williamsburg, Jamestown, Yorktown area, you'll liable to run right across us. Well, partner, it's band conditions are starting to fade out here, and I've got to get to work. It's been a pleasure and a privilege talking to you, my friend. Say 73 to you on yours. This is KQ4 ZFQ. Been a privilege.
Well, the pleasure was all mine, Walt. You know, when you're calling CQ and the station comes back to you and they're willing to talk and talk and talk and talk more than just amateur radio, which of course is very interesting. But, you know, when you can talk about where you live, what you're doing, etc., you know, that interests me as much as the technical side of ham radio. So it's all about, you know, getting to know people and having that pleasure of someone who's willing to give you the time of day, which you have. Well, you go off and enjoy your work. I'm very lucky. I'm a retired man now. I've been retired 3 years in November. I retired early because I made that provision. I always said to my family, you know, do it now, save the money now, and you'll reap the rewards when you're older. And my daughters at the moment, they're just spend crazy. So, you know, it doesn't look like my advice is going to rub off too well. But, you know, love them to bits. And 73 to you and your family, and say enjoy work, enjoy your day, and find me again on 10 or 12 meters. We'll do it again, and I'll give you an idea of where I live and what it looks around my area. Take care, Walt. Bye bye for now. KQ4 ZFQ M0JCF. Cheers, old chap. QRZ Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot in the southeast of England. And nothing is heard. CQDX Juliet Charlie Foxtrot CQDX 10.
Hey, we got you in there, Mark. This is Whiskey Victor 8 Papa Whiskey Radio, WV8PWR.
Yeah, Whiskey Victor 8 Power, very good call sign. Whiskey Victor 8 PWR M0 JCF returning, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the name is Mark Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm 15 miles southeast of the city of London, down there in the county of Kent, southeast of England. I'll give you a report on the next over, but you've got an awesome audio, and I'll give you a proper report because I don't think we got awesome audio in the logbook, but we'll give you a report on the next over there. I think we got Mike down there in West Virginia. M0 JCF listening for WV8 Power. This is M0 JCF.
Yes, indeed, Mark. I've got you. From a different frequency, but yes, fantastic audio coming from London. And this is Mike here, and I'm right on the Ohio River in West Virginia, running ICOM 7300 with an ICM mic, and pushing about 300 right now on a 4-element Yagi headed your way.
Oh, thanks for that, Mike. Ohio River. You know, when you said Mike, Ohio, and there was me saying West Virginia, I thought to myself, well, I'll put my foot in it this time, Mark. You've got it totally wrong, being very presumptuous. But the Ohio River, West Virginia, absolutely fantastic. Well, you're coming into me about 5 and 5 on the peak, and with the QSB, you're dropping down to a 5 and 1, maybe even a 4 and 1. So I would imagine that the 4LE is doing all of the heavy lifting today. But I'm using an IC-7300. I'm using just 100 watts from the radio, and the antenna is very simple. It's just a 5/8 wave vertical, so it looks like you're shoving your signal my way, and my signal's going every which way today. But I'm glad to be making your acquaintance there, Mike. Whiskey Victor 8, Papa Whiskey Romeo, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
All right, Mark, well, good to meet your acquaintance, and I hope you have a great day, and the winds are up and down, but everything's across the pond. It's great to hear you in there, and I'll let you get back to get some other contact. I appreciate you coming. And this M0 JCF, this has been WV8PWR.
Yeah, WV8 PWR M0JCF with that final. Mike, an absolute pleasure to work you from the Ohio River in West Virginia. I think you're my first contact from that river location. So always good to write those notes down in my paper logbook. I've logged you on QRZ, no problem. I don't know if you use that, but if not, it's not a problem. I don't really QSL or anything these days. So take care. Good luck, and thank you for this awesome contact. As I say, a very, very loud and very, very powerful audio. A credit to you. Good luck, sir, and 73.
73.
CQ, CQDX, 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 Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot on 10. Okay, nothing is heard. CQDX, 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, CQDX, 10 metres. Okay, I think I had a Lima whiskey, but you were very, very weak to me. Please, if it was Lima whiskey, if there was a Lima whiskey, please try again, sir. I am listening.
Lima Whiskey 7, España, Nicaragua, Ontario. Mi nombre es Alfa Lima Delta Oscar 57.
Yeah, QSL, Lima Whiskey 7, Echo November Oscar. Aldo, very nice to meet you today. Thank you for calling me. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I am in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres southeast of the city of London. You're very weak, Aldo. Just a 5 and 2. Just a 5 and 2 is your report today with QSB. So I have you in my logbook, Aldo. But Lima Whiskey 7, Echo November Oscar. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Lima 7, Echo November Oscar. Thank you for contact. Confirmo en qrz.com. Bye bye.
Okay, no problem logging you in QRZ, Aldo. Good luck, and I wish you 73 to you and your family. Bye-bye, old friend.
Bye-bye, 73.
Gracias, mi amigo. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot in the southeast of England. Okay, nothing is heard. CQ, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, CQDX, CQDX 10.
Kilo Charlie 2, Mike India Juliet.
Yeah, Kilo Charlie 3, Mike India Juliet. Very good afternoon to you, sir. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London. Well, I'll give you a report on the next over and on technical details if the propagation holds up. So back to you, KC3 MIJ M0 JCF.
Continuing here, Mark. This is Charles up in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I'm about 30 miles south from the New York state border, about as far up as one of our interstates will go. And we're sitting and waiting on some rain coming in today, and that's about it in the sense.
Oh, fantastic, Charles, Pennsylvania, and it looks like you got good old British weather. Yeah, we've had rain this afternoon as well. A beautiful crisp morning. We've had about 17 degrees Celsius, so in the 60s Fahrenheit. And yeah, we had a bit of rain this afternoon, so it's very, very familiar to me. Well, your signal, Charles, is a 5 and 3 peak, dropping down to 5 and 1, but perfectly readable throughout. I'm using an IC-7300. I'm using 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the antenna is very, very simple. It's just a 5/8 wave vertical antenna. So that's the story, Charles. Kilo Charlie 3, Mike India Juliet. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, roger that. I'm running 100 watts barefoot on a 991 Yaesu, and it's on also a simple off-center fed dipole at about 30 feet in the tree, and it was good enough to make the contact with you. So happy hunting out there. I'm going to roll the dial a little bit more. I haven't been out here in quite some time, but it was a pleasure speaking to you. KC3MIJ, and I'll be clearing on your final.
Yeah, KC3MIJ M0JCF returning. Absolutely no problem. Before you disappear though, Charles, have you got a report for me, please? I know I'm getting over there. Just wondered if you've got a signal report for me. I'm assuming my readability's number 5. But other than that, I wish you very best 73. And yeah, you roll that dial. There's plenty on my scope showing. So there should be plenty of North Americans talking to Europeans, I'm sure. As I say, it's only the North American and South American I can see on the scope, not the Europeans, but that's an assumption on my part. Yeah, if you've got a report on your before you spin that dial, I much appreciate it. Good luck, old friend, and thank you again.
Yeah, roger that. You were between a 5.4 and a 5.7 at times. It's trying to break up on this end in the last half hour or so, but you're between the 5.4 and 5.7.
Cheers, mate. 5 and 4 is good enough for me. It's the readability that's all important for me. Well, I've logged you on QRZ as well. I don't know if you use it, but not a problem. You're in my paper logbook. That's the most important thing, because it's there for prosperity. The internet can crash at any time. Good luck, old friend. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, Kevin.
QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, CQDX 10. CQDX 10. CQDX 10. Here is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. 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 Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox, calling 10. Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Charlie India. Very good afternoon to you. Thanks for calling me. The name this side is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London, and I'll give you a report on the next over. Just so you're aware, your signal wasn't very strong on the call-in, and I suspect that the QSB won't help us today. But Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Charlie India, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. I got you at about a 5-6 AT Pennsylvania, Papa Alpha. Name is Dan, Delta Alpha November. About 30 miles north of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Signal seems to be fading in and out. I'm at about 100 watts right now.
Yeah, Dan, no problem hearing you that time. Peaking 5 and 5, and with QSB down to about 5 and 1. So yeah, conditions not fantastic on 10 meters. All of my contacts into the USA so far have all had quite a steep QSB. But today, Dan, I'm using an IC-7300 with 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the antenna is just very simple, just a 5/8 wave of vertical. So that's the story, Dan, and if you want the weather, I'll give you that on the next over, but it's miserable at the moment. Back to you.
koozie there at the end. Just wanted to let you know I'm on a 10-meter injury dipole, 100 watts on a Ragchewing 991 Alpha. Hopefully you're able to pick up that last one, and it was a nice chatting with you. 7383 ACI.
Yeah, KD3 ACI M0JCF. Yeah, gotcha 991A with a dipole, and I think you said 100 watts earlier. Dan, yeah, great to speak to you today. Nice to hear you from Pennsylvania, and I do concur, yeah, the QSB not helping us. Good luck, old friend. Thank you for this contact, and we'll do it again another day. Best wishes, 73. Bye-bye. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot in the southeast of England. And nothing is heard. Okay, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, now going temporarily QRT. This frequency clear for use. Frequency clear for use. Okay, was a station calling Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot? I was about to sign off, but I think I heard somebody calling me. I may be mistaken. Apologies for that. M0, JCF is listening. Okay, I can hear my call sign being repeated. I didn't hear your call sign. No problems. We'll try and get that in the logbook. But you're very weak at the moment, about a 3 and 1. You're just a 3 and 1. So if we could try and find out who you are and where you are and see if I can get that call sign. Back to you, sir, listening. Yeah, Mexico 6, Echo Sierra. Report today for you, old man, would be a 4 and 1. Would be a 4 and 1. I could hear the call sign, especially as you repeated it a few times for me. I do thank you for that. But the name this side is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England. Well, I'm not far from you. In fact, I was down your way today. I'm in Sidcup in Kent, and I see, Ian, you're in Sevenoaks. I'm going to see if we've worked before, because I've worked quite a few people from Sevenoaks. No, I haven't. So yeah, your report's 4 and 1 from Sevenoaks into Sidcup. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna. I'm using 100 watts and an IC-7300, and yeah, I was down at Dunton Green today, so my daughter's got a flat that we're clearing out in Dunton Green, so I do know your area. That's the ramble over with. Back to you, Ian. M6, Echo Sierra. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox.
Okay, Mark, okay. Using 25 and an end-fed wire, 2550 end-fed wire. I am getting ground wave to you.
Yeah, no problem. I got you 25 watts and an end-fed wire, which is quite respectable that we're having this conversation, seeing as you're using an end-fed wire and I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical. A little bit of cross-polarization going on. I'm assuming that your end-fed is horizontal, but no problems, mate. Plenty of DX on the band. I don't know if you've worked any. I've worked quite a bit of North America and South America, including Argentina and Brazil, but mainly East Coast USA has been coming through to me. I haven't made it much further west than Illinois. That was my furthest west today. So that's the story, Ian. Mike 6, Echo Sierra, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox.
I'm hearing lots of the that. There's some replacing the call on 73.
Yeah, no problem, Ian. An absolute pleasure to speak to you today. As I say, I was only going to go temporarily QRT, but if someone else wanted the frequency, I wasn't going to give the impression I was coming back anytime soon. I'll just find another frequency. All right there, old chap. Good luck, and thanks again for this short contact. And the frequency's all yours if you want it. As I say, there have been plenty of calls coming into me from North and South America, and South Africa. In fact, I've had contacts into South Africa as well. So this frequency might be a sweet spot for you. I don't know, but yeah, I also understand the antennas are sloper. Okay then, mate. Take care. Good luck. 73, and I'll say goodbye for now. And this frequency will be clear for use. Frequency will be clear for use when I've cleared. Back to you, Ian, for any final. Cheers, mate.
Okay, now I'll probably push out one or two calls when you just take up your calls out to okay, have a good evening,
73 M0 JCF is now clear the frequency. Juliet Charlie Foxtrot DX on 10. Okay, the Kilo Sierra station, very, very weak to me. I only caught Kilo Sierra, but I will try to get you in the logbook today. My name is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm just 15 miles southeast of the City of London. So the Kilo Sierra prefix, please try again, sir. Try to get you in the logbook. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot listening.
Kilo Sierra 4, Kilo Sierra 4, Romeo QSL.
Yeah, Kilo Sierra 4, Romeo Foxtrot. And the other station calling me, please can you stand by, sir? Please stand by. Kilo Sierra 4, Romeo Foxtrot. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Say the name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, 15 miles southeast of the City of London. And now we've got you in the paper logbook. We can find out who you are, where you are, and I'll give you a report on the next over. But you definitely come up off the floor that time. KS4 RF Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
QSL Mark, Delta Alpha Victor India Delta, located in the state of Georgia, about 90 miles southwest of Atlanta. And I'll give you about a 5-3 into Georgia, Alpha.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the 5 and 3. I think you're peaking about 5 and 3, but with the QSB, you are dropping down towards like a 4 and 1. So it's no problem, David, getting you in the logbook. Today I'm using an IC-7300. I'm using just 100 watts out of the back of the radio, and the antenna is very simple, just a 5/8 wave vertical, just an old CB radio antenna that I shortened very slightly for 10 meters. So that's the working conditions here. How do you copy there, David? KS4 RF M0 JCF PS the call sign, absolutely fantastic. Great call sign for amateur radio. Back to you, sir.
QSL all that. QSL, yeah, thanks for the call sign. The about 2 years now. So one of the last surviving amateurs still around. Amateurs advanced. What we do from here, go to FT710. I am running about 500 watts information on here. We'll get into and input halfway.
Yeah, QSL, David, no problems. I'll tell you what, those FT710s are becoming very, very popular radios now. And I reckon at some point the ICOM IC-7300 will be a relic, because it just seems like everyone's buying FT710s. Absolutely fantastic. Well, for what it's worth, I'll give you some Whiskey X-Ray today. We had a beautiful crisp blue sky morning of about 10 degrees. By the afternoon it risen to 17, but we had cloud cover come in and we had a few rain showers as well. But no, all in all, not an unpleasant autumn day, but it looks like winter's finally coming to the southeast of England. Back to you, KS4 RF M0 JCF.
Roger, all that. Weather here is a little warmer than that. We're going to be pretty far down in there, so I think I'll play 70 days with you, and for weather conditions. Good stuff.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, the QSB's really interfering with my ears now, David. You're consistently dropping to like a 4 and 1, 3 and 1. So we won't hold it any longer. I've logged you in QRZ. You're in my paper logbook and you're in everything in between. So absolutely fantastic contact. And you know what they say, any contact is better than no contact when it comes to DX. Take care. Good luck. 73 to everyone around you, David. Look forward to the next contact, and I'll say bye-bye for now. Thanks, David. Good luck. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot in the southeast of England listening.
Whiskey 2, Zulu, Quebec.
Okay, station ending Mike Yankee, can you please stand by, sir? Thank you for calling me. But Whiskey 2, Zulu, Quebec. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. The name is Mark, Mike Alpha, Romeo Kilo. And I'm in the southeast of England, about 15 miles southeast of London in the county of Kent. I'll give you a report on the next over, but you were certainly louder than the other station also calling me. Back to you, sir.
Okay, Mark, real fine. Name is Dave, Delta Able Victor Echo, and this is the club station of the Delaware Valley Radio Association, and we're in West Trenton, just south of Princeton University. Just wanted to hop on. You've got a great signal over here, definitely 5x9, and we are running about 500 watts into a 12-element beam up about 100 feet right in your direction. So that's out at CQDX 101D. So that's over here, and I will turn it back to you.
Yeah, no problem, Dave. The Delaware Valley Radio Club, yeah, fantastic, or Radio Association, yeah, fantastic. Thank you for the 5 and 9. Well, you're 5 and 5 to me, Dave. 5 and 5. Don't be despondent on that though. With that antenna system you've got, so long as I get a readability 4 or 5, you know what? I could care less sometimes about the signal strength. But technically, yeah, you're a 5 and 5 to me. I'm only using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, which seems to be a lot lower on the receive than my transmit signal on absolutely every station. That's why I say don't be despondent. I'm sure if I was using something else, you'd probably be a 5 and 9 or anything in between. But yeah, at this time it's a 5 and 5 on the 5/8 wave vertical. I'm using an IC-7300 and just 100 watts from the back of my radio. That's the story, Dave. Whiskey 2, Zulu, Quebec. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot.
Okay, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Say that okay, W2ZQ. Yeah, I could be a lot of things, the horizontal and the vertical orientation. Let's see, I'm in the 033, which should do just fine as far as aiming. But we're not 5, that's for sure. Okay, well, I just wanted to jump in and say you've got a good, strong signal over on this side of the pond. I haven't been to your area of the country yet, but I'm certainly familiar with London. Haven't been there many times. Up, around up to Bletchley Park and, the RSGB headquarters and all that stuff. So, wonderful over there. Really enjoy it and hope to get back again soon. So, I'll let the other guys talk to you. And from 73, and nice chat. And talk to you again soon. M0 JCF from Whiskey 2 Zulu, Quebec.
Yeah, W2ZQM0JCF returning for that final. Dave, it was an absolute pleasure to speak to you. And yeah, thanks for mentioning you've been here a few times. I've been to the USA about 15 times now, and I have been from coast to coast. So, you know, I've seen a little bit of your country, mainly Florida, California, Arizona, around that way. But you know, it's nice to get around, and as I say, yeah, there's plenty to see over here. When you next come back, there's probably too much to see. That's the problem with this little island of ours. There is so much to see. It's unbelievable, and you need a lifetime. Take care, and can I wish everyone there at the Radio Association of Delaware Valley a very best 73. Good luck, thank you, and I look forward to a next contact, possibly on 12 metres. You'll find me there as well. Take care, bye-bye for now. W2ZQM0JCF, cheers.
Cheers, Mark. Catch you again soon. W2ZQ clear.
Thank you for that. And the other station that was calling, if you're still on frequency, thank you for your patience. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox listening. Okay, it appears not a problem. CQ, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling DX on 10. Okay, that station just, I don't know if you were calling or if you were talking to someone. Very difficult, you were very low down. This is M0, JCF listening. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, M0 JCF. This is Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar Mike. I was the last station you talked to for a second when your wife was hollering at you last night, over.
Oh, absolutely fantastic! Yeah, yeah. That was danger. That was a danger zone, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you called back in. 5 and 3, you are. You're a 5 and 3, and well, yeah. You know who I am. You know where I am. You know what I'm using. I'll give you a report on the next over. But yeah, what it turned out was my youngest daughter's boyfriend was ringing me. He needed some information about my eldest daughter's apartment, and because he couldn't get through to me, he then rang my wife, and of course my wife wanted to know why I wasn't answering the phone. You know how it works, mate, but it's all safe, it's all good. I'm still on the radio, I'm still kicking, and there was absolutely no blood. So back to you. Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar Mike, and I will get your name in a second. Very remiss of me not to remember that, Tom. But yeah, sorry about that. I had to go through a few pages there to collect the name. But Whiskey Tango 8, Oscar Mike, this is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Back to you, Tom.
Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar Mike. Southwestern Ohio. It was amazing that when I was turning the radio on, and I heard you clearing with another station, and so yeah, I think it was meant to be. So hey, I'm glad there was no blood last night. Very good. Well, we have a nice day here in Ohio today, Mark. The sun is finally peaked out. We had some rain yesterday. Looks like it's going to be a great day, and your signal's building. You're up to a 5 and 7, over.
Oh, thanks for the 5 and 7, Tom. And yeah, you're peaking about 5 and 3, but QSB dropping you to about a 5 and 1. But weather today exactly the same as yesterday. We had blue skies this morning, a bit chilly, about 10 degrees Celsius, and then this afternoon raised to about 17 degrees Celsius, so in the 60s Fahrenheit. And We had a bit more rain this afternoon. It's just those very short, sharp showers. They last about 10 minutes and then they vanish and then the cloud breaks up. But yeah, a little bit gloomy this afternoon. It has been better. We've had a great summer here, a fantastic summer with many weeks where the temperature was in the 30 degrees Celsius, so well into the 80s, a bit like Florida, in fact. So that was the story, Tom. Back to you. Whiskey Tango 8, Oscar Mike, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox.
Yeah, very good, Mark. Well, our summer here was pitiful. It was very humid, and we had a considerable amount of rain. So the humidity was so high, it made it almost unbearable to work outside. But, you know, I'm 75 years old, so I think I'm getting wimpy in my old age, you know. I used to work in the construction industry, and no matter what the weather was, I was always outside working. But now that I'm retired, I guess I'm getting weak. So if it's too bad, I'd rather stay in the house and maybe get on the radio. But yeah, very good. Well, your signal is going really well today. Like I said, you're running 5 and 7 now. I'm running about 600 watts here, Yaesu transceiver, and 2-element cubicle quad pointed at Jillard.
Oh, thanks for that information there. Yeah, 600 watts and a 2-element cubicle quad, definitely making the trip across the Atlantic. But yeah, I'm also retired. I'm 62 years old. I'll be 63 in February. But luckily, I retired nearly 3 years ago, Tom. I was in the IT game, nothing like construction or anything like that. I was in IT, I was in telecoms, and I was also in digital television. When digital television was introduced into this country, I was at the forefront of that as well. So, you know, I've sat on my backside, I suppose, most of my life when it comes to work. And I just got to the age of 59. My company was making changes and it was a good time to get out. And I just cleared it with the station manager and decided to retire early to have a lot more leisure time. We never know what's going to happen, do we? We don't know what's around the corner. But, you know, I've seen some of those workers in construction, in demolition and everything else in between, and it just looks like too much hard work for me. It's bad enough that I have to do DIY at home. You know, I'm not, don't get me wrong, it's all said in jest. I'm okay with hard work. I'm okay, you know, with doing what needs to be done. I just didn't want to do it as a career or for a living. Tom, back to you.
Yeah, very good for Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar Mike. Well, I was a construction electrician at Mark, and for about 30 years of my career, I traveled all over the United States. They called us boomers because we were always jumping from one big job to the next. So I used to tell people, if there's a big job making lots of money anywhere in the United States, that's where you're going to find me. So I finished up my career working out in Las Vegas, Nevada, on a powerhouse out in the desert. It's the only job I ever had where I had to go through snake bite training because the project had been started years earlier and never finished. So they were finally to bring it online. And, well, when you leave stacks of pipe and things laying around in the desert, you never know what kind of animal might decide to make a home in that piece of pipe. So we had to go through a little first aid and snake bite training. But I was like you. After that job finished up, I went ahead and retired. I was pretty fortunate. I was able to get out at 55. So I've been retired 20 years. I can't believe where the time went. But I think you made the right decision on the retirement part because, you know, we don't know when they're going to pull our number. So, you know, I tell everybody I know, go as early as you can because so many guys I worked with over the years that come in at the last minute, and then they got retired, and they were only on the earth for a year, and then they passed away. So I always say go as early as you can.
Yeah, well, I'm totally in agreement with you. You know, it's a sad fact that all of the men in my family seem to make it into their 70s, and then that's their lot. And all of the women really do approach 100 years old. My grandmother, you know, fantastic. She died 8 years ago. She was 98 and a half, and that half was very, very important to her. She was hoping back then, you know, to get her what they call the letter from the Queen. When you reach 100 in this country, the King or the Queen will send you a personal message, a personal birthday card, and she so much wanted it. But you know, all of her sisters, they all lasted until over 100 years old. And on my grandfather's side, all of his sisters, you know, they all lasted well into their 80s. And but yeah, all the men on both sides of my family, grandmother, grandfather, on my mother's side, that is, they, you know, it seems to be that the women have got it, the men didn't. So I'm just hedging me bets. Of course, we're now in modern times, and modern medicines. I think the doctors will, you know, keep me going forever and a day. But yeah, I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to hedge me bets on me retiring late and going early, as they say. You know, I've got lots of friends as well, Tom, that, you know, they're my age or slightly older. Some of them are in their mid 60s, and you know what? They're still working because, as they say, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves if they were to give up work. So it's really quite a crazy situation, you know. They've got no hobbies, they've got no ideas of what they want to do outside of work. I was totally the opposite. I had far too many hobbies, and work was getting in the way. So yeah, that also made the good decision. And you know, I've got a very supportive wife, and she's a few years younger than me, and she's looking forward to retirement soon. And when she does, that's, I think, when we'll uproot and we'll start to spin around the world a bit more. I'm lucky, I've been around the world several times now, and I've seen a lot of it. But yeah, I think you know, we're going to do those trips that we've always talked about the last 10 years. But just in case I've lost you on the QSB, I better stop talking. Whiskey Tango 8, Oscar Mike, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
No, not a problem at all. I didn't miss a word, Mark. You're still a good, solid S7. You know, very good on your grandmother there making it to 98 and a half. Lived to be 95, and you know, he was always very active, and well, at 95 his body just finally gave up on him. But his favorite thing was, you got to keep moving, because a moving target is hard to hit. So I always say that to all my friends. But hey, like you, I've got a lot of friends that important jobs, you know, and that's all they did was work, and they had no hobbies, you know, didn't do anything else but go to work, and some of them retired, and they couldn't to work. So I always told them, you know, they asked me, well, what do you do every day? And I said, I do anything that I want. I have so many interests, and a lot of those are sparked by watching YouTube. You know, YouTube on the internet, we have so many interesting people, and so many things I'd like to try. There's always something that's keeping me busy. I do a lot of woodworking here. I've got a nice shop. I build a lot of furniture and cabinets and things like that for people. And I always thought maybe I should have been a cabinet maker instead of an electrician, but it's more a hobby job. It's not a job, you know, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. And also, you know, I do a lot of metal work. I have a small machine shop back in the the over.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, and good on the woodwork. I'm a metal worker myself. I've got a small lathe and a drill press and some other instruments of torture in my garage, and you know I do love to mess around with metal, but woodwork I've never been so good at. I think that's a lot finer art. And you know, I'd love to do some cabinet making, but I just haven't got the patience for it. The other hobby I've got is I do oil painting on canvas, so you know that's probably my creative side there. And the motorcycles, well, I don't have any motorcycles at the moment, Tom. It was only in the last 10 years or so that I gave up drag racing motorcycles, and before that, you know, I always had motorcycles on the road, and I've had motorcycles on the racetrack. So I was doing quarter-mile drag racing along with my youngest daughter until about 10 years ago. And before that, I did some road racing on open class and production motorcycles. And before that, I did speedway, which is very similar to, you know, your short track, flat track. So I was well into that. But on the road, I haven't ridden on the road since 2004. I had a pretty nasty accident in 2004, and I just gave up with the idiots driving on the road, you know, that don't have any care for the riders around them. So I just thought it was safer to stick to four wheels for commuting. But you know, I'm always on the lookout for a classic motorcycle from my younger days, an old Yamaha maybe, or maybe an old Suzuki from the 1970s. But you know, the prices are now getting ridiculous, and nostalgia is a very, very expensive thing, Tom. Back to you. Whiskey Tango 8, Oscar Mike, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
Yeah, Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar Mike, very good. Well, I have two motorcycles now. I have a 2003 Harley Davidson big motorcycle, a road bike. And then I have a 1974 Honda 360 that was given to me. It hadn't been run in 20 years, and it was sort of in bits and pieces. And I got it for free, so I took it on as a project, Mark, and I rebuilt it and refurbished it and repainted it. It's like it's a showroom fresh. So I occasionally ride it around the neighborhood. It's fun to ride, and it really doesn't have many miles on it. I think it only has 12,000 original miles on it. So it's fun. I've got some pictures of different motorcycles, and you'll see that orange 1974. But, you know, after I rebuilt that, I really didn't think it was worth very much money. And I wrote it off to a local motorcycle shop to get a part. The owner asked me if it was for sale. I went funny and said, oh man, you'd be surprised what they do bring. So I started looking around, and your own prices were way up there. So 4 grandsons, and they all ride, and they also drive. So you know, I gotta figure one of these days, as I get a little older, they're gonna corner me in the garage and say, what are you gonna do with those motorcycles, Grandpa? And I guess I'll wind up giving them to them, over.
Yeah, absolutely superb. Do you know what? I've just looked at your QRZ page, and you know that Honda CB360, you know, it's so recognizable. My next door neighbor, when I was a youngster, he actually had that same motorcycle, but it was in blue. Your one I see is in that orange gold color. His one was blue. But I remember in his shed helping him strip the engine down, every last nut and bolt, and completely rebuilt it. Not my favourite motorcycle, I've got to say. I was a big Yamaha RD fan. I'm a two-stroke man at heart. So way back in the day, it would be the Yamaha RD 250, the 350, the 400 and the 350 liquid cooled. And in fact, it was my first racing bike was an RD 350 liquid cooled. And I raced that for a season, and then I went on to an open class machine. I went on to the Yamaha Tango Zulu 250, and I raced that for 3 seasons, and I finally gave up. I had a big accident at a track called Snetterton in Norfolk, out in the north of London. But anyway, I had a big get off there, and I walked away, and I thought to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. So I gave up that racing career. But yeah, that Honda I do recognise. And as for the Harley Davidson, you know, my brother had a 2003 Sportster, but it was the 1200 Sportster. So my brother had one. I didn't like it. I rode it, and I just did not like it. I think probably in a straight line on the motorways, on the highways, a fantastic motorcycle to ride. But just locally, I just rode it for a bit, not really long enough to give it a good evaluation. But I really didn't like it. But that was just me. I think I've ridden so many Japanese motorcycles over the course of 45 years that I just I found it quite alien. But then, you know, it wasn't a motorcycle for really going quickly around corners and around roundabouts and things like that. It was a bike that was designed for the highways and for long cruises, you know. So yeah, but you know, I can say, you know, at least I've ridden one. But that was the 1200 Sportster, but it was a 2003. Well, that's the story, mate. Anyway, listen, your signal's getting quite weak, Tom. I've used all sorts of noise reduction and preamps and everything to keep the conversation going. But I'm just looking at the clock now. It's time for me to now shut down and actually go and make some dinner. And interestingly, you was my last contact yesterday, and it looks like you're going to be my last contact today. So who knows, you may be my last contact tomorrow as well. I'm sure I'll be on about this time. So before I lose you to the QSB and the noise, I'm going to wish you very best 73, Tom. Absolutely fantastic talking to you, and so good that I could actually see your QRZ page and see what you had going on, especially with the Honda, which brought back memories of working on the blue version of that with my next door neighbour, and me thinking, no, I don't want one of these, but you got it for free, and it looks like you've done a fantastic job on it. And maybe, just maybe, I should look around for a Honda instead of a Yamaha. They might be cheaper, I don't know. There's lots of jokes can be said about Hondas. The only Honda I've ever owned was a Victor Foxtrot 750, a VF 750 Honda, way back in the early to mid 80s, and that I bought off a friend. But that's a story for another day, along with all of the other motorcycles I can see on your QRZ page. I'll tell you about mine as well. But all the best. I wish you 73. I'll listen for a final now, Tom, then I'll be releasing the frequency. So over to you. Whiskey Tango 8, Oscar Mike, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
You couldn't hardly get started. It is so much compression. We would
down the hill and then pop the clutch to get it started. I don't think I'll be riding the back wheel anymore if I I really enjoyed it. I'm going to check out your QRZ page
Yeah, WT8OMM0JCF for the final. Yeah, 500cc singles will always be an animal to start. Yeah, that's a story for another day. I've ridden a few, so I know all about them. And your signal's now bordering on impossible to hear. I did hear absolutely everything you said, but we'll save any replies for another day, Tom. You know where to find me on 10 metres. You know where to find me probably on 12 metres. So bye-bye for now. 73, take care, good luck. An absolute pleasure to speak to you. Absolutely fantastic. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot going QRT. This frequency is clear for use. Frequency is clear for use.